Well, hello and welcome to the New Health Conversation for the censors out there and the community guidelines following the rules. We at the New Health Conversation pride ourselves on the fact that we don't share anything with our audiences that isn't backed by peer-reviewed human trial medical studies. We've also written 4 best-selling books with some of the top medical doctors in the world, and every single item that we share is in the public domain. People can go see it. Nothing's made up, nothing's copied. We're researchers. So it's really important. I want you to understand that we stay within the community guidelines. We don't make any claims. Anything we talk about is backed by medical proof. Unlike many of the other influences that I see on social media that are on making these outrageous claims about diets and exercise and things that they have the only thing they're giving you is an opinion. We don't give opinions. Opinions are not something that we do at all, okay? Wow, Sonia's on here, Karen's on here, Moki, Fernandez, Dolly, lots of people already. That is not Photoshop. Jeff did lose 70 pounds and 54 inches in 30 days with no exercise. Now, granted, this is the most we've ever seen in 23 years, but when you see even just normal, you're going to see that this is crazy. It's not a diet. It's not about counting calories. It's not about exercise. It's a major breakthrough that was invented or discovered, invented, I guess is a better word, by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the entire world, the top people. They had done 100 studies over 4 decades, 40 years, and they realized and proved that traditional diets, pretty much looked at every one of them. None of them ever worked long term. And the sad truth was that 2/3 of the people that went on any diet ended up weighing more than what they did when they started. So they created this new protocol out of the fact that other diets just don't work. I'd love for anybody to put in the chat, for example, can anyone give me the actual technical definition of what a calorie is? Because all the diets that you're on up until now were some form of counting, limiting, restricting calories. But if you don't even know what a calorie is, why are you counting calories? How have we become so brainwashed? How have we gotten into a position where we're doing something that the body has no relevance to? Your body has no idea what a calorie is. It doesn't count calories. When you're hungry, you think you're hungry for calories. You're not. You're hungry for one substantial item that runs all our bodies, and that's the minimum amount of nutrition. Let's call it the floor of nutrition, okay? Look, I've been a nutritional researcher for 23 years, and I'm not telling you that to impress you. I want to impress upon you. I've done 20 shows on PBS. I've written 4 best-selling books with some of the top medical doctors in the world. I've lectured over 1,500 times live in universities and hospitals and towns. They even flew me to China. And for 22 of my 23 years, I'll tell you honestly, in the medical world, it meant zero. Zero. Why? Because there were no peer-reviewed human trial studies. And today, as I was saying when I first started, we don't share anything that's not backed by I got them right here in my hand, peer-reviewed human trial medical studies published in the biggest medical journals in the world. These aren't newspaper articles. These aren't scientific papers. These aren't anecdotal stories. This is real hard medical proof evidence. In the medical world, the highest you can go, the last line of defense is a peer-reviewed human trial study done on human beings. And I'll ask you this question. Is anybody following these influences, whether telling you about keto or paleo or Mediterranean or time restricted eating or any of those, are any of them showing you one shred of medical evidence? One shred, just a shred. I can't find it. I'd love for anybody to put in the chat and tell me, do you agree with that? Are you user 581 or Kokopich or TY50 or user 477 or Big Daddy or Mom of Olaf, Jacob, or any of you? Look, we're here to help you. Now, if you come on and jump off in 5 seconds and you miss the opportunity to change the rest of your life, I feel sorry for you. None of what I'm sharing is me. It's not my research. But we're bringing you the research to open your darn eyes and say, wait a minute, what we're doing. We have 80% of America overweight, 50% obese, 50% pre-diabetic. Does that sound to you like diets are working? This is a complete train wreck. I don't know what to call it. I'll tell you what Johns Hopkins Medical School calls it. This is a study, Johns Hopkins Medical School. Study predicts obesity apocalypse by 2030. They estimate 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese in 4.5 years. How could we think that's okay? How? And what are you all doing? Calories in, calories out, keto, paleo, Mediterranean, time restricted eating, diet, exercise, 10,000 steps, make a journal, drink more water, go to the gym. None of it works. Until now. Until that. Oh, the other thing I'll tell you before I go any farther, see right above the picture, you all see it in blue, the new health conversation. It's a free medical website with all of this proof. There's nothing to buy there. There's no buy buttons because we don't sell anything. The researchers who created this, there's no products. There's not some lotion, potion, pill, magic shot. No, no, no. What they created was a completely new way of eating. And it was at the foundation is new groups of food. 30% of the food he consumed came from the United States. You'd actually get a grocery list of proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. But the other 70% comes from foods from other researchers, not the ones that created this. They don't have any products. They don't sell anything. We don't sell anything. Those researchers had gone around the world for 20 years and gone to places and find foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but small quantities of food. They went to places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, and the Himalayas, in Nepal, South America, New Zealand, to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but small quantities. So what did he actually do? How did he accomplish that? That's not fake. That is real. That is not photoshopped. What the researchers did, they said the reason diets can't possibly work because a diet, basically, you reduce the amount of food you have. Okay, but why didn't they ever tell you that at the same time you're reducing nutrition? When here's what happens. You don't have to believe it. This is the medical proof. When you lower the amount of food you're consuming, of course, it's common sense. You're lowering what? Nutrition. When your brain figures out there's not enough nutrition, because it's the nutrition that keeps us alive. It runs the brain, the heart, the kidney, etc. And the brain is going to survive. It's going to find the fuel no matter what. So you've limited the amount of nutrition. Now the brain freaks out, goes in starvation mode, shuts down your accessing the fat cell, or what's inside the fat cell for energy, for fuel. So then it freaks out and does something called catabolic metabolism. Ooh, that's a scary word. It should be. What that means is the body then reverts to beginning to eat our organs, starting with our muscles. Once the body starts to eat those muscles, automatically it slows down your metabolism. That's why you lose weight initially in all these diets. Then it draws to a trickle. Then you plateau and you can't lose any more weight no matter what you do. So you quit, come off, you gain all the weight back, and then you look for a new diet. So the researchers said, no, that's not right. We're going to find food groups and we're only going to concentrate on nutrition. We don't care about the quantity. This was the criteria. We need food groups with higher nutrition and lower amounts of food. So they put the food list together that you would physically get. That's what Jeff did. He had proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, and fruits. But instead of giving him calorie counts, which he was used to, they gave him serving sizes. Only 30% of what he consumed he bought from his local grocery store. So another way to look at it is if you took your grocery bill from last month, only 30% of what you spent last month you'd buy from your grocery store. The other 70% goes towards these exotic foods that come from around the world that were developed by these other or discovered by these other researchers. So now you have the ingredients, 30% from your grocery store, 70% from these exotic foods around the world. Then they created two completely new ways of consuming food. 5 days a week, he had 4 meals a day. He started with these exotic foods. That was his breakfast in the morning. Lunch from the grocery store list, meal number 2. Dinner, meal number 3 from the grocery store list, and a 4th meal after dinner, these exotic foods around the world. He wasn't hungry because it's not just the nutrients they were getting, it's the spacing. When did he eat them? In what sequence? It's all laid out. The researchers actually created for all of you. This is what they use with the patients. Blueprint for Success. Each one of these is yellow is a video that explains what they're doing, why you're doing it, most importantly, why it's safe. This is from the researchers, and they don't sell anything, they don't have any products. Why did they do it? Because they wanted you to be able to experience what the people in the medical studies did. So I said 5 days a week, he had 4 meals a day. What about the other 2 days? Did he eat nothing? No. But he did something that's really crazy. He did, well, this is what they called it, intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not water fasting, not time-restricted eating. On those days, no food for the grocery store, only these foods around the world. But this time he ate 8 times a day. He was eating every hour and a half. He wasn't hungry. And those are the results. But if you want sort of a more like thing we can relate to, let's take a look at Kristen who did this. She only had 35 pounds to lose. She lost 21 pounds, 38 inches in a month. Would you be happy with that, all of you? 21 pounds, 38 inches in a month with no exercise. Look at her day 1, day 30. Look at her stomach and hip area. Look at that, everybody. What do you think about it? I'd love some comments. I mean, the point is there's nothing like this on the planet. This makes every diet obsolete. Why would you go on a diet counting calories to literally make yourself unhealthy? Because here's why. Because when you go on these diets and you reduce the quantity of food and reduce the quantity of nutrition, your brain puts you in starvation mode and uses your muscles for fuel, slowing down not just your metabolism, but your own immune system. You are making yourself right now, this moment, this second, unhealthy by what you're doing. Unknowingly to you, it's not your fault. These influencers, what are they doing? Why are you entrusting your health to people giving you opinions? I didn't invent this, so it's not me, but we're showing you, we're giving you the medical proof that this, if you go to the website to see the medical proof, you'll never count calories, you'll never do a diet again. And the sad part is most of you won't even go to the website to see free medical information. You can get a free coach, there's not a gimmick here. There's no gimmick. We were coached. Doesn't somebody have to stand up for all of us and say, wait a minute, this is crazy. Johns Hopkins Medical School study predicts obesity apocalypse by 2030. 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese in 4.5 years. Honestly, I'd love anybody put in the chat. Try to support that. Tell me the diet you're on you think is going to work. Oh, and I have people go on and say, oh, I lost 20 pounds. Great, but you're not going to keep it off. And you're going to end up, if you lost 20, you're going to gain 25 back. It's not my opinion. My gosh, we have the medical proof. We've got people like Harvard Medical School saying, stop counting calories. I'll read from the study. The idea of a calorie in, calorie out when it comes to weight loss is not only antiquated, it's just wrong, says Fatima Stanford, obesity specialist, Harvard Medical School. Drop the calories notion, Stanford said. It's time to concentrate on what's in our food, not how much food we're consuming. That's what these researchers did. They have nothing to do with Harvard Medical School. I don't understand why you wouldn't be running, let your fingers do the running, to Google, put it, I'm going to show you again. Here's the website right above his head in blue, The New Health Conversation. It's free to go there and we will not contact you. It's not some sales site. There's nothing to buy there. It's just the medical proof. And then you get to decide if you like what you see, what is keeping you from going there? And then you can get a free coach. We have kids as young as 2 doing this. We have a lady 91 years old. We have people with no thyroids. We have people with heart transplant, no gallbladders, kidney transplants. We're not treating, curing, diagnosing, or making any medical proclamations. All we're doing is showing you and teaching you what they found in these medical trials, how to do it, etc. That's what we're doing. There's no products here. There's no product to buy. It's food. It sounds too good to be true. I did a podcast earlier today and they said, well, it sounds too good to be true. It is too good to be true, but it's better than that. I mean, would any of you be unhappy with 21 pounds and 38 inches in just 30 days? And this is an older gentleman. Where do you see this? 40 pounds, 52 inches in 30 days. Look at his stomach. But look at his lab work. You see it in green right there, lab before and after. Look at A1C, 8.4 to 6.4 triglycerides, 242, they dropped to 124 in 30 days, everyone. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get across to you. The diets you're on are making you unhealthy. You're going to gain 2/3 are going to weigh more than when they started. The numbers keep going up. In 1964, we had 15% of America overweight or obese. In 2024, it was 80% overweight, 50% obese, 50% pre-diabetic. And now Johns Hopkins Medical School is saying in 4.5 years, 86% of us will be overweight or obese. If this is, that makes COVID look like nothing. Do you know that being obese contributes to 40 known diseases, according to Harvard Medical School? And don't get on me even thinking I'm fat shaming. My own mother was morbidly obese my whole life, and I loved her. I hate diets. I'm going to admit it. My mother called me up 24 years ago and said, Peter, I have one really big wish in my life. I said, Mom, what's that? She said, I'd give anything to spend one day thin. 6 months later, massive heart attack and stroke. My mom did about every diet there was, from the grapefruit diet to the cabbage soup diet to going to Weight Watchers for years to doing, you name it. I'd see her lose 20 pounds and gain 25 back. I'd see her lose 25 and gain 30 back. I love my mom. I went through fat shaming. Please understand, I would never in a billion years, ever do anything except support you. I can't help my mom, obviously. But I'd like to think I could make a difference for you if you're willing to make a difference for yourself. Starting with, what's the easiest thing you could do? Go look at the medical proof, the New Health Conversation. It's right there in blue, the New Health Conversation. It's free to go there. We set this up on purpose so you have a safe place to go, because we won't contact you if you go there. No, we don't contact you if you go there. You have the right to see the medical proof, and then you can scroll down and get a free coach if you want. You don't have to. We're showing you everything up front. I see these people that are trying to charge you for an app, and then they're going to send you recipes, and then you get a coach. What's all that? What's that all about? It's not going to work long term. I mean, let me give you some more proof here that diets are just finished. Here's Medicare. New big study just came out from Medicare. Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments. Next line. Diets are not the answer. That's Medicare saying this. Listen to what they said. Our researchers reviewed studies of long-term outcomes of calorie-restricted diets to assess whether dieting is an effective treatment for obesity. The study showed that 2/3 of dieters regained more weight than they lost on any diet. In summary, there's little support for the notion that diets lead to lasting weight loss or health benefits. What are you all doing? No, what are you doing? Yeah, I get really passionate. People get mad at me sometimes. Okay, calm down. No, I'm not going to calm down. This is a damn disaster happening. It's going to bankrupt our healthcare system. I'm thinking about my grandkids. Will there be any healthcare left? God, in 4.5 years, we're going to be at 86% overweight and obese and 50% diabetic or pre-diabetic? Don't you think it's time to think about doing something different or not? Can we get some more taps on the screen? We're only at 266 likes. We got Enoch, we got Dennis, we got D. Wilson, we got Beauty Right, Kia, Ocean, Gigi, Cheryl, Kurt, Demi, Allison, Natasha, Cruz, Jennifer. I mean, I was reluctant even to show you this picture because I knew you'd think, oh my God, that's fake. That's not real. No, it's real. It's absolutely real. And when we go, we'll just look at just some what we consider more normal amounts, right? But still, 5 pounds a week with no exercise. And then Jennifer, Julie, sorry. That's 35 pounds in 37 days. You maybe think it's a different woman. We lied about the dates. No. Look at a change in her body composition. Have any of you ever seen anything like that on any diet you've ever been on? I know most of you are jumping off. But you're jumping off why? You're jumping off for your life. You really think any diet you're on is going to work long term? Do you really believe that? And then this is the daughter of a friend of mine. 60 pounds in 3 months. I know her. That picture's 8 years ago. She's kept the weight off. Look at her face, look at her arms, look at her body, look at her midsection. Now, do you think it's the same woman or did we Photoshop? I'd love anybody to make a comment. Hello, Kurt. Hello, Demi, Footsie. Hello, Allison, Natasha, Key 6913. Look, everybody, that is real. I don't know how. I'm not trying to convince you. I'm not going to convince you. I don't have enough energy to do that. I'm not going to try and sell you. Our job as researchers is to present you with the evidence, present you with the medical proof. See, unlike other people that are just showing you before and after, we have 10 peer-reviewed human trial medical studies backing up everything I'm saying. I didn't invent this. We're just reporting. We're giving you the news. The news is really encouraging. Listen, let me ask you this. I always ask this question. If you were going to lose 20 pounds, just 20, somebody put in the chat, if you're brave, I'm a nice person. I'm not going to get mad at you. But to be honest, to lose 20 pounds, how long would you give yourself? Pick any diet, any trainer, any gym, any program, shots, I don't care what it is. How long would it take you to lose 20 pounds? I mean, the fact that you have someone, an older gentleman, 40 pounds and 52 inches in 30 days, and look at his blood work, his A1C from 8.4 to 6.4. You think that's cool? It's cool. So D. Wilson, Diane, Kia 6913, user 968, Angela, Lee, Amanda, Nessie. I'd love some comments. Now listen, here's the next thing you're going to see. You can still buy it, I think. It's selling out like crazy. This is the recent issue of Women's World magazine, the #1 women's magazine in the entire world. It came out June 9th of this year. A major news story. Listen, look at the title, Over 50 Protein Miracle. And I'll bring it in even closer. Maybe you can read it. Powerful new eating pattern can take off weight faster than anything else you've tried. The daughter in blue is a nurse. She's 57 years old, lost 50 pounds in 3 months. The mother's 80. She lost 90 pounds in 9 months, and they both kept it off for 2 years. I mean, it's a news story. I mean, it's so great because wait, I'll show you the story. Look, 2 full pages, new protein miracle diet. Now, what you think you get on the cover of Women's World, the #1 women's magazine in the world, if this wasn't real, why did they even do it? Because it was backed by 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. And the researcher who created this, they went to him and said, explain this to people and show us. They wanted to have 2 women over 50 who had lost at least 50 pounds. Little unbeknownst to them, it was a mom and daughter team that they lost 140 pounds between the 2 of them. The mom, when she first started this over 2 years ago, couldn't even climb a flight of stairs. And 8 months later, she plays pickleball 3 times a day, swims 3 times a week, and walks 4 miles a day. This is a revolution. We need a revolution on to get rid of this stupid calories in, calories out. Brainwashed. It's as if we're gone back in history 550 years ago and the smartest people in the world said, what? The world's flat. Do any of you, honest to goodness, just pointed, what is the method you use? Hello, just joined. Oh, you did it twice, buddy. I missed how. I'm going to do it right now, I promise, Jennifer and everybody else. Okay, so let me tell you how. Okay, let's come back. This is more normal for most of you, but Jennifer or Buddy, how about losing 5 pounds a week? How about losing 21 pounds in a month and 38 inches? So this was invented by, there's no products here. This is food and a new way of consuming food, okay? So the researchers who created this and produced this result that you're looking at right here are the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. They've done 100 studies on human beings over 40 years and proved that diets, calories in, calories out, just doesn't work long term. Oh, people lost weight on every diet they studied, but 2/3 of them ended up gaining more weight than they lost. So what they did, they said, we need to analyze what's wrong. Here's what's wrong. Diets have nothing to do with counting calories. As a matter of fact, I'd love any of you to put in the chat, what is a calorie, okay? So let's get that out of the way. Your body doesn't know what a calorie is, and your body doesn't count calories. And when you're hungry, you're not hungry for calories. Your body runs on one simple principle, a minimum amount, not of calories, nutrition. You got that, everybody? What the researchers figured out is the problem with a diet when they refocused was when you reduce the quantity of food you were giving to people, you were also reducing nutrition. Well, all the brain knows is is there enough nutrition to run all the organs, the brain, kidney, liver, heart, etc.? Well, I already told you I have a minimum amount. Well, we now went below that by going on a diet, by reducing the amount of food we were consuming. The brain freaks out, stops accessing the fuel inside your fat cell, and turns to your muscles for fuel, and then it has no choice but to slow down your metabolism. That's why you lose weight initially on these diets. You all know I hope I'm preaching to the choir. And then it slows down, then it stops, and then you plateau. No matter what you do, you can't lose any more weight. You quit the diet, and then you go off the diet, you gain everything back, and then you look for a new diet. So the researchers said the key to this was if they could do it. Could we find foods with large amounts of nutrition, but small quantities? So the goal was, can we give you less food, but give you more nutrition? That's a pretty simple concept. How they did it was different. They absolutely put together food lists, but only 30% of what she consumed and everybody else was what I would call organic food from your grocery store. Proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. The researchers picked them, and then instead of giving you calorie counts, they give you serving sizes. Very important. So last month, whatever the food budget was, whatever people spend, on this protocol, only 30% of what you spend at the grocery store, you'd spend at the grocery store to get the proteins, fats, carbs, what am I talking about? Fruits and vegetables. Sorry, I was losing my train of thought. The other 70% came from other researchers, not these, Because there's nothing, we don't sell you anything. The researchers who created this, they don't sell you anything. They put the groups together of different foods, and then I'll explain to you the eating patterns that were totally different, completely new. But these other researchers had spent 20 years going around the world, to Russia, Mongolia, to Tibet, South America, New Zealand, to do what? To find the foods that were already there that had huge amounts of nutrition, but low quantities of food. Some of the nutrients that you would be able to take, they come from nutrients in places in the world that those nutrients don't even exist in North America, and what people are living to be 100 years old are taking and not getting sick. So now you had the two groups of food, 30% from the grocery store and 70% from these exotic foods around the world. Then the researchers invented, for her and everybody else, two new ways of eating. So for her, 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. Yep. She started with these exotic foods for breakfast, lunch, meal number 2 from the grocery store, meal number 3, dinner from the grocery store, and meal number 4, the exotic foods from around the world. Then 2 days a week, she did that's called protein pacing, by the way. But it wasn't just what she was eating, it was when she was eating, what the time intervals were, etc. Okay, then 2 days a week, she did something called intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not water fasting, not time-restricted eating. On those days, absolutely no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods around the world. But this time, they let her eat 8 times a day. She was fasting with nutrition. So the food she was consuming were really small quantities, but huge amounts of nutrition. Did it work? There's the result. There's the result. Now, the other thing you need to know about this is called R2M, race to maintenance. It is not a question, can we get the weight off you 10 times faster than any diet you've ever been on, but we'll teach you how to maintain it. That picture is about 8 or 9 years old. She's kept the weight off for 8 or 9 years. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. That's one of the biggest reasons to do this is maintenance. Does that make sense to everybody, Q? And you understand? I felt the form online known has contacted me. Did you just do that today? Because I didn't see your name. Was that today when you filled it out? Bubbly G, hello, just joined. What is the method? Okay, so Bubbly Lee and Jennifer, does that make sense? Do you all understand that? And what she's talking about, if you go to the website, you can see it right above his head in blue there, the new health conversation. If you go there, take a look at the medical proof, because we won't contact you. Let me say that again. If you go to that website, we're not contacting you. We wanted to take all the pressure off of you. You get to go and look at everything. There's no way to even talk to us. But if you like what you see, once you see the medical proof, then you can scroll down and you get a free coach. So for some reason, she said she filled out the form online, as no one has contacted me. How can I lose 20 pounds in 8 weeks? I'm 145, 5'4". By doing this. Okay, look at this. There's your answer. Look at her. Sabrina, look at that. 21 pounds, 38 inches in 30 days. It's a joke. You'll lose that in the first 2 or 3 weeks. Sabrina, I'm not kidding you. Look at that. You think we faked it? You're pretty excited about it because you put it in twice. How can I lose 20 pounds in 8 weeks? So you didn't hear the explanation, did you not? Sabrina, just let me know because I'll repeat it again. No problem. Give me a yes or no if you heard the explanation. If you didn't, I'll explain to you exactly how did she do that. And there's more than just her. Look at this young woman here. Hold on. Well, let's see. Did I put the wrong person? Hold on. Well, yeah, look at him. He exercised, though. That was part of this. But 50 pounds in 4 months. How's that look? Wait a second. I'm messing myself up here. Hold on. Well, this is the daughter of a friend of mine, Sabrina. Never me where. No. Use a no. Is this about? No, my God, no. Unicity is a nonsense, total nonsense, not one shred of medical evidence behind it. This blows unicity out of the stratosphere. A unicity, again, it's another diet. They don't work. With what? Okay, let's do this then. With what? You missed the exponent. Okay, now I'm going to explain to you how did she lose unicity. You're not losing 21 pounds and 38 inches in a month. You're kidding me? Not even on the same planet. This was invented by the top weight loss researchers in the world. For 40 years, they'd done 100 studies, thousands of people, and they finally figured out what didn't work. Now, here's the cool thing. Unlike unicity, there's no products. There's nothing to buy other than food. and then a completely new way of consuming the food that I'm going to share with you right now. So let's go over the short version. The researchers figured the reason all your diets fail, including unicity, is there's some form of lowering the amount of calories to get you to lose weight. That's the theory. There's a huge problem with that. Anybody tell me the definition of a calorie? Your body doesn't give a damn about a calorie, doesn't know what a calorie is. Why you're counting calories, it baffles me. The researchers said this: the only thing your body cares about is a minimum amount of nutrition on a daily basis to run all your organs. So you go on a diet with unicity or anything else, you're reducing the amount of food you're consuming. When you do that, you reduce the amount of nutrition, your brain freaks out, goes in starvation mode, prevents you from accessing the fuel in your fat cells, and turns your muscles for fuel. Then that causes you to do two of the most unhealthy things you could ever do. One, it slows down your metabolism. You all have experienced that. You lose weight initially, and then it just trickles, and then all of a sudden you're on a plateau, and then you quit the diet, you gain everything back, and then you look for a new diet. I mean, you got to understand, when you're dealing in medical proof, in medical science, we have 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies backing up what I'm saying. Unicity doesn't have one peer-reviewed human trial study. None of these diets do. Look at what happened to her. That's a month, 21 pounds in a month. You think any of these diets can compete with that? So the researchers, what they did, they put together a food list, high nutrition, small amounts of food. And they picked it out. You'd actually go to the grocery store, you get a grocery store list. There's no products here, you're buying food. So proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, and fruits. But instead of giving you calorie counts, they give you serving sizes. Does everybody understand that? So 30% of what you consume came from the grocery store. The other 70% came from food sources from around the world that these researchers, not the ones who created this, they don't sell anything, they don't have any products, we don't sell anything. That group of foods came from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, represented huge amounts of nutrition and small quantities of food. So now they had the ingredients. Then they put together a protocol never done before. 5 days a week, she was eating 4 meals a day, starting with these exotic foods for breakfast. Meal number 2 was lunch from the grocery store list. Third meal, dinner, and a fourth meal, the exotic foods from around the world. So 5 days a week, she was having 4 meals a day. That's called protein pacing. 2 days a week, she did something called intermittent nutritional fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating. In those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods around the world, but this time they let her eat them 8 times a day. She was eating about every hour and a half. Nobody was hungry. We had people weigh 500 pounds. They're not hungry because your body is never hungry for. See, the problem with unicity or anything else, you're depriving yourself of nutrition. I don't give a damn what they say. That's what you're doing. Well, the brain figures that if there's not enough nutrition, it freaks out, goes in starvation mode, and makes you burn your muscles for fuel. My God, that's one of the most unhealthy things you could ever do to yourself, because when you lose lean muscle mass, it's not just to slow down your metabolism, you slow down your immune system. So these diets, whether it's unicity, they're making you unhealthy. Yeah. Wake up, America. Wake up. This is going all over the world. Wake up. We got 1 billion people worldwide clinically obese. Does this make sense to everybody? Does that answer your question, Isabel? Primarily used to measure the energy. No, Javier, you're close. Keep going, close, but not. No, that's not true. So how do we get this food plan? It's not a food plan. It's the food is the ingredient. How to do it? Here's how you get it. It's free to go there. See above. Look at them. You trying to tell me unicity would do that? 70 pounds and 54 inches in 30 days? That's not even close. Now, granted, that's the most I've ever seen in 23 years that he did. But we got lots of other examples. But the point is, look right above his head in blue. Does everybody see that? The new health conversation. It's 100% free to go there. It's all medical proof. There's no products. It's just a medical proof. But if you like it, you can scroll. It says in black, free coaching. Free coaching. Because you need to do this the way they did it in the medical studies. But look at the results, everybody. Would anybody be unhappy with 21 pounds in a month and 38 inches? By the way, no exercise allowed in the studies. They're not against exercise. You can certainly exercise. You want to do it. But these people were not allowed to exercise. They wore Fitbits to prove they weren't exercising. So I'd love any of your... No, that's not... No, Javier, keep going. You're on the fringes of it. That's not what it is, okay? It's on the fringes of it. That's not what it is, okay? It's on the fringes of it. That's not what it is, okay? It's on the fringes of it. That's not what it is, okay? It's on the fringes of it. That's not what it is, okay? It's on the fringes of it. That's not what it is, okay? It's on the fringes of it. That's not what it is, okay? It's on the fringes of it. That's not what it is, okay? It's on the fringes of it. That's not what it is, okay? It's on the fringes of it. That's not what it is, okay? It's on the fringes of it. That's not what it is, okay? It's on the fringes of it. That's not what it is, okay? It's on the fringes of it. That's not what it is, okay? It's on the fringes of it. That's not what it is, okay? It's on the fringes of it. That's not what it is, okay? It's on the fringes of it. That's not what it is, okay? It's on the fringes of it. That's not what it is, okay? It's on the fringes of it. That's not what it is, okay? It's on the fringes of it. That's not what it is, okay? It's on the fringes of it. That's not what it is, okay? It's on the fringes of But I'd love for you to, if you get it right, you should be the fifth person in a year, Javier, to get it correct. What's the definition of a calorie? So does this make sense? So is it Isubi or Lasubi? Anyway, just give me a yes if that makes sense to you. Now, but the most important part about this is maintenance. We teach you, I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. That picture's 8 or 9 years old. She's kept the weight off for 8 or 9 years. What diet are you on that you think would do this? Which one? I'd love for you to put it in the chat. I won't get mad, I promise. Your opinion matters, at least to you. But again, if you're going to give me an opinion, you don't have any medical proof behind it. I went through that for 22 out of 23 years. Hell, we had before that, we had all kinds of things. But in the medical world, it meant zero. And I've written 4 best-selling books with some of the biggest medical doctors in the world. They did 20 shows on public broadcasting. I was interviewed on the 4 biggest daytime shows in America. Did over 1,500 live lectures in universities and hospitals and towns. I even spoke 2 years in a row, my greatest accomplishment, at Autism One in Chicago, one of the biggest autism conferences in the world. I've been at this a long time. And now to have 10 peer-reviewed studies, there's no discussion. You're not going to come and try and compare unicity to this. They don't have one shred of medical evidence. Or paleo, or keto, or Mediterranean, or time-restricted eating, or Cornish, or zone, or lose weight for your blood type, or Jenny Craig, or Weight Watchers, or Nutrisystem. They don't have one shred of medical evidence. Why are you following this, people? Because that's what you know. I don't fault you for that. You can do. I know that 99% of you aren't even going to take advantage of going to the free medical. Oh, Lucia. Well, good for you. Come on, Javier, I'm counting on you. I'm counting on you to give me the definition of a calorie. So let's all go back, look at the website. Listen, ladies, it's free to go there and we won't contact you. It shocks me the number of people. I'm doing like 4 of these podcasts a day. It goes all over the world. Literally thousands of people. And a tiny fraction actually go to the website and get a free coach. What is holding you back? What do you think we're going to, what do you think we're going to do? The medical proof is there. We don't have, if we have to convince you beyond that, then you're on the wrong web. Then go do whatever you want to do. We only have so much time. We're coaching people every day, 7 days a week, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. I mean, that's a tiny minute. It's like a grain of sand on a beach. We have 1 billion people worldwide clinically obese. Yeah. Worldwide, 1 billion people. 3 times the population of the United States, clinically obese. I mean, seriously, as a society, how in the heck are we going to deal with this? We're going to be at 86% overweight and obese in the United States in 4.5 years. Isn't healthcare expensive enough? Do you know that 92% of you have something called metabolic syndrome? What the heck is that? It means if you have 3 of these 5 factors, listen to me, are you overweight, high blood pressure, high blood sugar, high cholesterol, or high triglycerides? If you have 3 of those, you're metabolically unhealthy. Not my opinion, that's from the CDC, Center for Disease Control. Do you know that the metabolic syndrome represents 25% of the total healthcare budget in the world, and that those conditions are 100% lifestyle? We're going bankrupt because we're getting sicker and sicker. I mean, I'm hoping I'm being optimistic. Maybe there'll be some changes. I mean, they're getting rid of red dyes, and now they're talking about toxins, but is it enough fast enough? See, one of the biggest reasons to do this is because we all suffer, including you and me, from this medical syndrome. It's called the TDOS syndrome. T is for toxins, toxicity. D is for deficiency of nutrition. O for being overweight. S is for stress. It's a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office. Oh, Peter Greenlaw. He invented it. Oh, that's me. This is a registered trademark. I'm not telling you that to impress you. We're all storing chemicals inside our bodies. Did you all see that? Google it. Do microplastics in humans. 5 weeks ago, they came out, they're now finding microplastics in our brain and in our coronary arteries. But what else are they finding inside of us now? Herbicides and pesticides and Scotchgard and Teflon and all these chemicals. We're all storing these chemicals because the body doesn't know what else to do with them. As we drink and breathe and eat these chemicals, the body takes that chemical and stuffs it in our fat cells, specifically around the abdomen. That's why look at his stomach going down, but look at Kristen. In 30 days, her stomach on day 1 to day 30 with no exercise, no sit-ups, no crunches, no saunas, no anything. Has anyone ever seen anything like that? Please put it in the chat if you think you have. What would it be? You're all settling for, I know I'm right. You're settling for like a pound a week on a diet. And you think it's great. It is based on diets that are making you unhealthy. Yeah, I get really fired up about this stuff because it's a national disaster. It's a worldwide disaster. It's an apocalypse, according to Johns Hopkins Medical School. I've lost 60 pounds on a calorie diet, high protein, keep it off for 2 years. No, it's not fasting. It's intermittent nutritional fasting. Well, Javier, then I don't know why you'd even be on this. No, I'm kidding. Congratulations, but I will promise you that 25 to 40% of what you lost, whether you know it or not, is your lean muscle mass. And you have done nothing on that diet to lower the chemicals stored inside your fat. I'm sorry to tell you that. It's not an opinion on my part, because they've analyzed every kind of diet like that. There's never been a gram of toxin leaving the body until now in these studies that did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis proving that this is removing the chemicals from your body. Great job. I would never disparage anybody for losing weight, but it's not the same as this. It's not even on the same planet as this. And I hope you will be able to keep it off, because the long-term studies say that you will probably end up gaining 70 pounds back. Not my opinion. Maybe you get mad, you won't like me telling you that, but you still can't even tell me what a calorie is. You don't even know what a calorie is. Why were you counting calories? Your body didn't count calories, I guarantee you. They're putting the chemicals, yes, they're putting these chemicals in everything, right? Well, no, you're still giving me the wrong definition. It's not a unit of energy. No, it's not. That's not the right definition. Whatever you say, Javier, it's all cool, but you're toxic. We're toxic. I'm toxic. Everybody's toxic. What, do you think you don't have plastic in your brain and in your coronary arteries? What planet are you living on? Your diet did nothing to remove anything of that sort from your body. Nothing. Zero. Sorry to tell you. These researchers, you don't think they did low-calorie diets for 40 years? Of course they did. You don't think they did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis over that time? Of course they did. They never saw a toxin coming out of anyone ever until now. That's why it's so powerful, because it's nutritional fasting. It's fasting with nutrition. I'm not sure what form you did. Were you doing water fasting? Were you doing alternate day? What kind of fasting were you doing? I'm just curious. But Javier, keep going. You don't have a definition yet. Good day. How do I lose my belly fat? You lose your, well, look at her. Can you see that right there, Gary? Look at day 1, day 30. Do you see that? Your body fat is being caused by your body trying to protect you by storing chemicals inside your fat cells. That's a given. Okay, I discovered the medical syndrome. It's a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office. You have toxins in your body driven by nutritional deficiency, causing you to be overweight and stressed out. What this protocol does, it's a detox. But how does it work? It's based on food. There's no products, no lotions, potions, pills, etc. Okay? So again, what foods do I suggest? I'm going to explain it to you right now. It's not what I suggested. I'm going to explain to you how and why this worked. The researchers figured out that calorie counting is dead, despite my good friend here. He had a great result. Congratulations. All the medical evidence, even, my God, why you shouldn't count calories. Here's your answer, Javier. While counting calories and restricting calories can help you lose weight in the short term, the approach has never been proven to keep weight off long term. What's even worse, 2/3 of people who try to counter restrict calories gain back more weight than they lost. Medicare. Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments. Diets are not the answer. Our research reviewed studies of long-term calorie-restricted diets to assess whether these diets are an effective treatment for obesity. The studies show that 2/3 of those doing calorie-restricted diets gain back more weight than they lost. In summary, there's little support for the notion that diets lead to lasting weight loss or health benefits. Good luck to you. Good luck to you. I hope it. I'm not waiting for you to gain the weight back, but you're certainly. The medical proof says it ain't going to happen long term. So we'll see what happens. Okay. No, you're not going to prove me wrong, because I'm going to shut you up right now. You're done. Okay? Bye. It was nice having you on board. See, he's counting calories. He couldn't even give me the definition of a calorie. Couldn't even give it to me. That's what happens with these people. They're like zealous. They're like part of this conspiracy, whatever the hell it is. All I know is we're going to have 86% of America overweight or obese in less than 4.5 years, and people are trying to tell me that calorie counting works. But what, is he a researcher? Is he all of a sudden he's a researcher? Well, have a nice afternoon. It was nice talking to you. You couldn't even give me the definition of a calorie. I mean, it's, again, Gary, okay, let's come back to you, Gary, about people that really want to know about this, right? And he did nothing to remove chemicals from his body. So good luck to you, sir. What the researchers did, they figured out the problem with diets was really pretty simple. It had nothing to do with counting calories. Your human body has no idea what a calorie is. So this calories out, calories out thing, total nonsense, rubbish. All the studies say that, including even Harvard Medical School says, stop counting calories. Harvard Medical School, not this some person giving me an opinion on TikTok. The idea of a calorie in, calorie out when it comes to weight loss is not only antiquated, it's just wrong, says Fatima Stanford obesity specialist, Harvard Medical School. Drop the calories notion, Stanford said. It's time to take a different approach by concentrating with inner food, not how much food we're consuming. Sorry, sir. I'm not buying it. You're going to gain all the weight back. You watch. Maybe it'll take you another year, whatever it is. It's the most unhealthy thing you've ever done because you also slowed down your own immune system, just to let you know. You lost lean. Don't tell me you gained 8 pounds of lean muscle. No, you didn't. Because you said you lost whatever, 50 pounds or whatever it is. 40% of that was lean muscle. So anyway, I don't want to spend any more time on that. So anyway, so the researchers, what you're saying about what foods you suggest, I'm doing it right now. Good. How do I lose my belly fat? On the proof, I'm going to prove you wrong. No, you're not, Javier. That's nonsense. You're going to go against all these medical researchers? No, you're not. What the researchers did, they figured out we needed foods with much more nutrition and less volume of food. Not calories, by the way. So they put together a food list that you would get. If someone's asking me about the food list. Only 30% of what you consume comes from the grocery store. It's based on fats, carbs, proteins, vegetables, and fruits. But instead of giving you calorie counting, they give you serving sizes. Now, these are the top experts in the world, not somebody giving me an opinion on TikTok. Sorry. They're rated the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. I think I'm going to believe them ahead of someone just giving me an opinion, because that's all it is an opinion. These foods represented way more nutrition and still less food than the other 70% of what they consume, which you can't get at your grocery store, came from other researchers who've gone around the world for 20 years, going to places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet in the Himalayas, South America, New Zealand, to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition and very small quantities of food. Nothing to do with calories. It had to do with nutritional density. So now what they did, they created 2 new ways of eating. Wait till you hear this. So 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day, starting with these exotic foods. That was breakfast, meal 1. Meal 2 was lunch from the grocery list. Meal 3, dinner from the grocery list. And a 4th meal after dinner, the exotic foods around the world. So she was getting massive amounts of nutrition, regardless of how much food she ate. Then 2 days a week, this is what's so cool, she did something called intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting like what he was talking about. Not water fasting, not time restricted eating. On those days, no food at all from the grocery store. Only these exotic foods from around the world, but this time she ate them 8 times a day. So you'd be eating every about hour and a half. Well, you wanted to lose the belly fat. Look at that in 30 days with no sit-ups, no exercise at all. You think that happens on a diet? I mean, and then I'll show you Julie. Wait till you see this. That's 35 pounds in 37 days. Now, not that she had belly fat, but look at how she shrank. That's 35 pounds in 37 days. Doesn't that intrigue you? Doesn't that make you curious? My God, how did they do this? Most women lose a whole dress size in 7 days with no exercise. They proved in a month, people's waist circumference went down by as much as 4 inches in 30 days with no exercise. You talk about losing your belly fat? Well, you're being yelled at. Was I yelling at you? I apologize. I was yelling at the guy trying to tell me that counting calories works. So then you're if you want to do that chair to hair, the problem is you're depriving yourself. I'd love to ask you civilly, what diet do you think you're going to go on? You're going to lose weight and keep it off long term, with us looking at 86% of Americans being overweight or obese within 4.5 years. That's the sad part. Yeah, I get really emotional. I lost my own mother to obesity, okay? My mom dieted herself to death. That's why I get so damned upset about this stuff when people come on and tell me about calorie counting. They have no credentials. I mean, anybody could make that story up. Where's the medical proof behind it? We have the medical proof. We have 10, and we were on the cover of Women's World. They featured this protocol, over 50 protein miracle. I wasn't yelling at you. If you think I was, I apologize. I don't want you to deprive you of the chance to change the rest of your life, because whatever diet you go on, it's a miserable failure. It's not going to work. That's not my responsibility. We're giving you a free website to go. We won't even contact you. Go look at the medical proof, the New Health Conversation. Right there. It's free, and we're not going to contact you unless you contact us, and you get a free coach. I apologize in advance. I didn't mean to upset anybody, but I can't help my passion. My mom calls me up 24 years ago and said, I have one wish in my life. I said, what's that, Mom? She said, I'd give anything to spend one day thin. 6 months later, massive heart attack and stroke. My mom did about every diet that was out there. I can't prove it. My mom dieted herself to death on these idiotic things that people keep coming on and telling me that work when the evidence is clear. They don't work. You trying to tell me any diet you've ever seen that? He dropped 70 pounds and 54 inches in 30 days. It's not photoshopped, it's real. Or April, my friend's daughter, she lost 60 pounds in 3 months. 60 pounds in 3 months. I love any of you, okay? We're all calm now. I'm calm. Please tell me a diet you think works. What would it be? Because Harvard Medical School doesn't say that. Medicare doesn't say that. This other big study, why you shouldn't count calories, they said why counting calories and restricting calories can help you lose weight in the short term. The approach has never been proven to keep weight off long term. What's even worse, 2/3 of people that try to counter restrict their calories gain back more weight than they lost. Does that sound like a solution? Shouldn't someone be your advocate? Shouldn't someone be on your side to say, stop? Diets don't work. Medicare said that. I did write the definitive book. It was a big bestseller back in 2010. Why Diets Are Failing Us, with a very prominent medical doctor. And our proposition was, why are you counting calories when the human body has no idea what a calorie is? I'm still waiting for someone to tell me what a calorie is. I'm not trying to be a jerk, and I know I make people mad sometimes but I want you to understand it's my passion. My mom never had a shot at this. My mom did what these diets, she fasted. She did the grapefruit diet. She did the cabbage soup diet. She did Weight Watchers Fears. Let's say you go to Weight Watchers and lose 4 ounces and get a gold star and come back and be very, very happy, because we thought that was good back in those days. But with us staring down the barrel of 86% of Americans are overweight or obese, does anybody really think we should let's just have a nice little conversation? No, we need to wake up and realize that what we're being told, what everybody's doing, is totally wrong. It can't possibly work long term. Oh, okay. What about this one then? What about that one right there, Marmar? That's the same door. What? Okay, well, let me ask you this. Do you think that's photoshopped on the cover of Women's World, the #1 magazine in the world? The daughter, I coached these two women. The daughter lost 50 pounds in 3 months. The mom, who's 80 years old, lost 90 pounds in 9 months, and they kept it off for 2 years. You think that's an optical illusion? I understand you're skeptical. But be as skeptical as you want, but you show me whatever diet you're on, show me the medical proof behind that there's any indication it works long term. We're not faking anything. I mean, we were talking about this. It's 2 different locations where she was. This is the daughter of a friend of mine. I guess you could think that I photoshopped it, but I'm a nutritional researcher for 23 years. I appeared 20 times on PBS. I did over 1,500 live lectures. University of Maryland, University of Notre Dame, at UCLA. I spoke in towns. I've spoken all over the world. My reputation matters. We don't have to fake anything. It's the same woman. It's exactly the same woman, right? Lajita, did you not hear me explain? It's not what I would suggest to eat. It's from these top medical researchers in the entire. Great, Sasha. Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay, someone on. She's already started. So Marmar, here's what I'm telling you. Why not go to the website, look at the medical proof, and interview with the number one nutritional weight loss physiologist in the world. I don't want you to believe me, but would you believe the top weight loss researcher in the entire world that invented this? Would you believe him? Or are you following someone on TikTok that's giving you opinions without one shred of medical evidence? Right? So can we get some more taps on the screen? We're at 1,900 likes. We've been 55 minutes now. Come on, let's get some more taps. So again, who's curious about how did she do that? I'm more than willing to tell you. And again, nothing that I'm sharing with you I invented or I have anything to do with. We're reporting to you what they ate, what they did, how they did it. This makes every diet obsolete. Seriously, I'd love for Marmar or anybody else, if you wanted to lose 20 pounds, Marmar or Legita or any of you, how long would you give yourself? Be honest. To lose 20 pounds, what time frame would you give? How long would you give to lose 20 pounds? I would doubt it's 30 days. I mean, I get anywhere from 3, 6. I had one lady that told me today it took her a year to lose 25 pounds. A year. So I would really encourage you, any of you, to. Now, Sasha, since you're already on it, to tell them I'm not lying. When you went to the website, we did not contact you. Am I correct? Just give me a yes. I have no idea who this person is. She was on one of my lives. She's working with one of our coaches, going through. Everything that I told you was true. Was it true? Correct. Okay, she's saying correct, everybody. I don't know this person. She was on one of my lives. I'm assuming she went to the website, which you all can do for free. And Sasha, am I true? We didn't contact you. You contacted us. You scrolled down and you got a coach. Is that correct? I'm not sure. I think she's saying correct again. I mean, I know it to be true. That's true. Okay. And I'm just curious, who's your coach? And is, Sasha, is the coaching free? That's what I was going to ask you. Sasha Love, what did you do? Exactly what I'm going to explain to you right here. She's doing this protocol we're talking about. So Sasha, is the coaching free? Did the coach charge you to coach you? Colin, okay, great. Did Colin charge you to coach you? I just want you to all understand, I don't know this person, so it's not a plant like, oh, I told Sasha to come on and make up stories. Oh my gosh. And Sasha, I guess the other question is, the website, wasn't it very, very informative, and it was all the medical proof? There was nothing to buy. We already said that. There was nothing to buy on that website, everybody. There's no reason to do that. So I'm going to explain to you what is she doing right now. So what she's doing was invented by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the entire world. And after 100 studies over 40 years, thousands of people in every diet out there, from fasting to paleo, keto, Mediterranean, time-restricted eating, zone, Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, Nutrisystem, they concluded one thing: no diet worked long-term. And sadly, 2/3 of people that went on every diet they studied, they gained more weight than they lost. What was the problem? Why don't these diets work long-term? Because they're based on the wrong principle. And that principle is counting calories. Your body has no idea what a calorie is. So why you would think counting calories would benefit you, I have no idea. Your body runs on this principle. You have a minimum amount, a bare minimum amount of nutrition that you need in order for there to be enough fuel to run your brain, your heart, your kidney, your liver, all your organs. Those don't have any impact. They have no idea what a calorie is. They don't care about calories. What they care about is nutrition. So what happens on a diet? You reduce the amount of food you're consuming, which means you're reducing what? The amount of nutrition that you get. When the brain figures out that you have less nutrition, it freaks out, goes in starvation mode, and prevents you from accessing the fuel inside your fat cell and turns to your muscles for fuel, doing two of the most unhealthy things you've ever done. We had someone earlier that was on a fast and wanted to argue with me. Well, guess what? He slowed down his immune system. I mean, that's one of the other things that happens. When you lose lean muscle, then you plateau on these diets and you gain everything back. So the researchers said, we got to change that. We're going to go look for new foods that have higher levels of nutrition and lower quantities of food. So they put together a grocery list that you would take to the grocery store. See, that's the thing. There are no products here to buy. There's no product. It's food. But they put together the combinations: proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, and fruits. But instead of giving her calorie amounts, they gave her serving sizes. But only 30% of what she consumed or bought from her grocery store last month. So whatever she spent last month, only 30% this month she spent it at the grocery store. The other 70% went towards these other researchers who had spent 20 years going around the world to places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition and small quantities. And some of the nutrients that they brought back don't even exist in North America. So my good friend that's fasting and eating food and even doing organic, you're not even getting close to what you could get. So those were the foods. 50%, 30% from the grocery, 70% from these exotic foods around the world. Then they invented two completely different ways of eating. What do you hear this? 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. She started with the world's most perfect, these exotic foods around the world. That was breakfast, meal number 1. Meal number 2, lunch. But this time, all the food from the grocery store list. Meal number 3 was dinner. All the foods from the grocery store. And then a 4th meal after dinner, the world's most, these exotic foods. Imagine on a diet being able to eat 4 times a day. No one was hungry. And we have people that weigh 500 pounds. They're not hungry because their hunger never came from calorie deficit. It came from nutritional deficit. Does that make sense to everybody? Can you ever give me a yes if that makes sense? So 5 days a week, 4 meals a day. That's called protein pacing. So it wasn't just what she was consuming. It was when she was consuming. And you even would get from the coaches, that's what Sasha's following now. It's called the Blueprint of Success, which is a step-by-step. There are videos every day explaining to you exactly what you're doing, why it's safe. From the research, not from us. We didn't invent this. So we don't have anything to sell. We're here to teach you. We're here to educate you. So it's called the Blueprint for Success. And 2 days a week, she did something, this will sound strange to all of you, called intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not intermittent, not water fasting, not time-restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods around the world. But this time, they had her eating 8 times a day. You heard me, 8 times a day. So she was having something about every hour and a half. No one was hungry. The diabetics sailed through this. As a matter of fact, in a month, they measured people's hunger went down 41% in 30 days. Most women lost a whole dress size in 7 days with no exercise. And in a month, they lost, on average, about 4 inches off their waist, men and women, with no exercise allowed. They wore Fitbits to prove they weren't exercising. I know it sounds crazy, out of this world. It's hard to believe. But let me give you one other thing that most of the people that jumped off, they don't even know. So 70% of what you would spend in real money, in dollars you're going to buy, those suppliers give you 100% money back guarantee if it doesn't work. You'll see if you go to the website, it says 100% money back guarantee. That's what they're talking, because we don't sell you anything. We don't have any products. The researchers, they don't sell you anything, but those suppliers are so confident that this works, they'll give you 100% money back guarantee. So what's your risk? Your risk is your skepticism is going to prevent you from changing the rest of your life. Like, I'm sure she's a really nice woman. She got mad at me for, I was yelling. Imagine. God, with 86% of Americans going to be overweight and obese and 50% pre-diabetic within 4.5 years, I think somebody better yell about this. I don't think we can just, well, you know, in 4.5 years, 86% of Americans are going to be overweight, obese, and pre-diabetic. Do all of you believe that that's not a crisis? That's not like an apocalypse? That's what Johns Hopkins is calling it. Right here, Johns Hopkins. Study predicts obesity apocalypse by 2030. 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese in 4.5 years. That's not my opinion. What should we do? Just pretend that like calorie counting works? Again, I don't see anybody even giving me the name of the definition of a calorie. Again, why are you all counting calories when you don't even know what a calorie is? We're at 2,000 likes. Let's keep tapping. I'm very happy with 2,000 likes, but I'd like to get a lot more than 2,000 likes. So anyway, I hope, let's see, that English leader, Sasha, love what did you do? I just explained it to you, English. Sasha, I probably lost some other people, but do any of you have any? Oh, let me explain to all of you what you can do to see everything for free. Right above his head in blue there, everybody, you can see the New Health Conversation. It's 100% free to go there. We won't contact you. So don't worry, the big bad wolf, that I'm going to contact you. I don't do that. You get a free coach, though. Not me. I'm the worst coach because, yeah, I guess I get emotional, but I'm so busy doing this podcast, I would not be able to serve you. And we want these coaches, they're going to call you, text you, email you daily to make sure you're doing it right and to support you. You're going to have a new friend. Now, granted, this is the all-time that I've ever seen in 23 years. He lost 70 pounds and 54 inches in 30 days. But we got an older guy here. Look at Curtis. Curtis, everybody. How about 40 pounds and 52 inches in 30 days? Look at his stomach. But look at his blood work. See, that's the thing that people don't get. A1C from 8.4 to 6.4. Triglycerides from 242 to 124. I guess what I would ask all of you, unless you're mad at me, which some people are, I'm sorry. I'm so passionate because I did lose my mother to obesity, and I can't go back, obviously. I mean, she's gone. But you're not. You're here. You all have a chance to really change. This is about changing the rest of your lives. That's what it's about. Race to maintenance, R2M, race to maintenance. Well, maintenance is what? Maintaining what you've lost and to keep it off forever. Don't ever have it come back. But look at him. No exercise. 10 pounds a week, everybody? 10 pounds a week? Really? English, I'm listening too. Okay, great. I'm glad you're listening. So English, you're one-on-one with me right now. This is live. It's not photoshopped. I mean, it's not, what do you call it? Pre-recorded, I guess. What question would you like me to ask you? Because I'm more than happy to answer. Well, any of you. I'm here. I'm open. Look, I know I get really emotional because I care a lot. I couldn't help my mom. I couldn't. I didn't know what to do. But maybe I can help some of you. So English, do you have a question? I'm not saying you need to have a question, but if you want to ask me or anybody else. And we're stuck at 2,000 likes. Come on, can we get some more? I mean, I've been an hour and 6 minutes. Come on, let's get some taps on there. Let's get let's get the numbers going up, okay? God's hand and Buddy Lee sending me roses and hearts and hats and all kinds of, oh, there we go. There's some likes. So English Dia, if I mispronounce your name, I really apologize in advance. English Dia, I believe it is. But is it Diva, maybe? No, I don't know, whatever. Oh, okay, Charmin, how's the weight loss? Okay, let's go back. Okay, I'm glad somebody asked me again. So Charmin, take me a couple minutes. Don't get impatient. The basis of this was created from the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world who've done 100 studies over 40 years, thousands of people on every diet out there. And what they concluded after 40 years of research, no diet ever worked long term, and 2/3 of people on diets gained back all their weight. So they wanted to know why it was that happening. Because they analyzed almost every diet out there. Charmaine? Is that I don't want to mispronounce your name. I hate it when that happens. So please don't think I'm being disrespectful, okay? So what they figured out was pretty simple. All these diets were centered around counting calories. And the biggest problem with that is the human body has no idea what a calorie is. It can't count calories. It doesn't care about calories. When you're hungry, you're not hungry for calories. From a metabolic standpoint of view, from a medical standpoint of view, we all run on a minimum amount, not of calories, but nutrition. When you go on a diet and you lower the amount of food you're consuming, you're lowering the amount of nutrition. What happens, you start to lose weight pretty quickly initially. But when the brain figures out there's not enough fuel, it immediately shuts down accessing the fuel inside your fat cell and turns to your muscles for fuel. This is proven medically. It's not up for debate. Did you know that 25 to 40% of the weight you've lost on any diet you've ever been on was your lean muscle mass? So let's say you lost 20 pounds. Between 5 and 8 pounds of that is your lean muscle, which not only slows down your metabolism, but slows down your own immune system. By you going on these diets and what you were doing, you're depriving your body of the nutrition necessary to run all the organs. It slows down metabolism and your immune system. So the researchers said, wait a minute. Can we find foods with higher levels of nutrition and lower quantities of food? So they created a food list that you would get from the coach for free. It's a free food list. Proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, and fruits. But instead of you getting calories, you'd get serving sizes. Got it? But it's only 30% of the food you would buy, purchase, or consume in a month. So if you figure whatever you bought last month in food, you're only going to spend 30% of it at the grocery store with this directed group of foods that the researchers put together. What's interesting, the other 70% of the food she consumed didn't come from the United States. It came from other researchers who'd gone around the world to places like Russia and Mongolia and Tibet and South America, New Zealand. They found foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but small amounts of quantity of food. So now they had the ingredients, right? They had 30% from the grocery store, 70% from these exotic foods around the world. Now they needed to come up with a, let's call it a recipe, for lack of a better term. So 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. Yep. Started with these exotic foods. Breakfast was from these exotic foods, nothing from the grocery store. Lunch, meal number 2, all the food from the grocery store based on the serving sizes and the grocery list. Dinner, the same thing from the grocery store. A 4th meal after dinner, these exotic foods from around the world. Nobody was hungry because she was eating about let's say every hour and a half to 2 hours, because the timing on this was very important. That's why it's called protein pacing. So think about pacing yourself. That's kind of the body, that's the most efficient way, the research has proved, is the most efficient way to be eating food, if it's high in nutrition. If it's not, it won't work. They realized this would have never worked just with regular food. So they also relied on this other 70% of the food came from these exotic locations. So 5 days a week, 4 meals a day, 2 meals from the exotic foods, 2 meals from the grocery store. Then 2 days a week out of 7, she did something that sounds crazy at first: intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store, none, zero. Only these exotic foods, but this time, English, she had 8 meals a day. Yep, only these exotic foods. Now, when I say meals, they were really small amounts of quantity of food that represented huge amounts of nutrition. Because remember, what was their goal? Can they give you less food and more nutrition? Well, they did it. Look at the results. Look at that. I mean, English, how excited would you be if you could lose 20 pounds and 38 inches in 30 days with no exercise? I'd love for you to put it in the chat. Would you be excited? Now, so Charmaine, I'm explaining it to you, and I'm also explaining it to English. Either one of you, please put it in the chat if I'm not being succinct. Now, the key to this is not to get the weight off you. For us, it's almost like that's a default. The key is to teach you how to maintain it. That's why the researchers call this R, like Robert, 2M, race to maintenance. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago. I kept it off for 23 years. That picture is 8 or 9 years old. She's kept it off for 8 or 9 years. Now, this other picture, which most people think it's a different woman, that's a friend of mine. That's his daughter. We didn't Photoshop her picture. She lost 60 pounds in 3 months, and she's kept it off now for 8 years. But look at the change in her body. Look at her face. Look at her arms. Look at her waist. Do you think it's the same? So English or Charmaine, do you think it's the same woman, or do you think we faked you? We don't have to fake anything. I mean, look, and maybe you were on when I talked about this. This is Women's World, June 9th issue, a few days ago. It's the featured news story in Women's World, the #1 women's magazine in the world. You can see they're over 50 protein miracle. That's the magazine calling it that. The magazine, in order to do this story, they contacted the researcher, the #1 research weight loss physiologist in the world. And that's why they wanted to publish this story, because they're serving women. They want to give you do you think you'd be on you really think you'd be on the cover of this if this was some kind of a scam or it didn't work? And I coached both of those women. The daughter in blue, she's a nurse, she's 57 years old. She lost 50 pounds in 3 months. The mom in the purple, is that I think it's purple, whatever color it is. I'm not good at colors. She lost 90 pounds in 9 months, and they both kept it off for 2 years. I know it, but honestly, do you think we'd be on they'd feature this? Not only that, they wrote I'll show it to you. They wrote a big article. Look at this, 2-page article on this. What are they calling it? New Protein Miracle Diet. That's not us saying that. That's the magazine. Because they got to see a lot of people, the weight loss. But these two, the mom and daughter, lost 140 pounds collectively, and they kept it off for 2 years. That should keep your interest going. Is this crazy? The difference is significant, right, Charmaine? Yeah, correct. Okay, so let me go back for Charmaine in English. I want to show you right above his picture in blue. Do you both see that? Give me a yes. The New Health Conversation. That's the free medical website for you to go. We will not contact you. Let me say it again. If you go to that website, we're not going to contact you. We want you to have, you don't have to be hassled. We don't have to convince you of anything. We're going to let the medical proof speak for itself. There's a long video, it's a podcast with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. And he'll explain to you why they, as the top weight loss people in the world, will never do a traditional diet again. They said it would be unethical because they created this. They said it would be unethical because why would we put people on diets that would take them 8 weeks to lose weight and lose up to 40% of their lean muscle mass when they could do that in a week and gain lean muscle? And they proved it. So the point is, you all can go to the New Health Conversation, see the medical proof, and if you like what you see, then scroll down and get a free coach. How's that sound? So English and Charmaine and anybody else, just give me a yes if you see the website and you realize you can go there for free and we won't contact you. Yes? English said that. Good. Good. So one last time, does everybody see the website right above his head, the New Health Conversation? That's a free website. We won't contact you, but if you like what you see, listen, it's 100% money back guarantee from those suppliers, 70% of what you'd spend. 100% money back guarantee. You think, now, nothing's 100%, of course. That would be ridiculous. I would never say that. But you have no risk. Your risk is, no, they've kept it off for 2 years. You're talking about this, right? This is current. I actually had talked to the daughter today. She's a nurse in Florida. No, they've kept it off now for 2 years. Look, I lost 40 pounds in English. I lost 7 pounds. Sorry. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. And the studies, all these studies that I've been talking about, the peer-reviewed human trial studies, some of them were started in 2012. They've followed the people now for 13 years. They've kept the weight off. This is the real thing. This is the real thing. And I'd like to know if any of you want to share with me, how much weight would you really like to lose? And I'll tell you how long it would take. See, no one took me up on the offer to tell me if you wanted to lose 20 pounds, how long would you give yourself? Yeah, English. User 288. Okay, right away, user. It's not a product. It's not a product. Okay? There's no product involved. It's food. But it was invented. I'll show you. Here's a more, you can relate to this. Let me just ask you a question. 288. To lose 20 pounds, how long would you give yourself on any diet you've ever been on or every diet you've ever heard of? Because this is not a diet. It has nothing to do with counting calories. There's no products involved. There's no product. It's food. As a matter of fact, 30% of the food she consumed was broken, how do you describe it? Put together in a list by the top weight loss researchers in the world. It represented proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, and fruits. But instead of giving her calorie amounts, they gave her serving sizes. But only 30% of the food she consumed in a whole month came from the grocery store, okay? No products. Got it? Around 80, okay. So English, how excited would you be if you lost 5 pounds a week or 20 pounds in the first month? Would that excite you? Use the 288, 30 pounds. 6 months, 2 months, laugh out loud. I have no patience. I wanted to lose 40 pounds, 3 pounds down so far. Look at, so she's coming on saying she's already down 3 pounds and it's just the start of her 4th day. So that should encourage all of you. So listen. Okay, so you want to, English, you want to lose 80 pounds. Look at my, what do you think about that? Tell me in the chat. English, what do you think about that? How about 60 pounds? What are some of the exotic foods that you speak of? I live in the Caribbean. Oh, now I don't want to discourage you, but the Caribbean, they don't directly, I don't think the suppliers directly ship there. So you'd have to go to the website, get a coach. I know there are people, we have them in the Caribbean and somehow they're like reshipping out of Miami or something. I don't know all the details because I'm not involved in that part of it. So you can go get a coach and explain to them, and I know they've been able to ship to people in the Caribbean, but I don't know how they did it. Just like my son lives in Costa Rica, and he gets his products through Miami and they reship it to him in Costa Rica because these suppliers don't ship directly to Costa Rica. I mean, that's right. So hopefully they'll be able to work that out for you. I worry about accessibility. Well, yeah, English. 30% of the food you're buying is from your grocery store. The other 70%. You can't buy that food in a grocery store. English. You can't. It just doesn't exist. And then you get free coaching. Why wouldn't you do that? Do you want the results she had, or do you want that? I mean, if you go on a diet, we both know. How long do you think it's going to take you to lose that kind of weight? The coaching's free. You don't know how to do this. I promise you. Whatever you think, whatever diet you've been on, I didn't. I got coached. I had no clue. I thought I knew how to do this. You know, portion sizes, calories in, calories out, watch your carbs. Has no bearing on any of this. That's why the coaching's free. Great English. We're shipping right now. We got people in Ireland. We got all kinds of people in UK. We got people in Romania. We got people in Finland. It's all over the EU. All over the EU. Your grocery list would still work at your grocery store. I'm not sure if you're in England or Scotland or you're in Ireland or someplace in the UK. And so again, English, the best thing to do is to go to the website. Everybody see this. There's the website. And right there above his head in blue, it says the New Health Conversation. It's a free medical website. Oh my gosh, I got off track here. So who was asking me about the what did they do? Let me finish that for everybody. So what happened here, you know, what product? There's no product. The researchers put together a food list. Only 30% of what you consume came from the grocery store, and the other 70% from these foods from around the world. Then what the researchers did, they created 2 new ways of consuming food that we would teach you, that you'd have to learn. 5 days a week, you'd actually have 4 meals a day, contrary to any diet you've ever been on. You start with these exotic foods for your breakfast, meal 1, meal 2, lunch from the grocery store list that we would supply to you that came from the researchers. Dinner, meal number 3 from the grocery store. A 4th meal after dinner, these exotic foods from around the world. So 5 days a week, you'd be having 4 meals a day. Nobody was hungry. Because it's not just you're having 4 meals, it's a spacing in between, and the coaches go over all that with you. Then 2 days a week, this is really incredible. This is really important. You're going to do 48 hours intermittent nutritional fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating. In those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods from around the world. But this time, you're going to eat 8 times a day. English, can you imagine that? You're eating 8 times a day. We have people who weigh 500 pounds. They're not hungry because they were never hungry for calories. They were hungry for nutrition. So the focus was completely wrong. People were concentrating on the calorie, ignoring the nutrition, which was the only thing the body was crying for, and saying, give me more nutrition, not more calories. Does that make sense, English and everybody else? Do you understand why diets are a miserable failure? Oh, you're in England. Great. Are you anywhere near London? Only reason I bring that up is I love London. I love England. Like 25 years ago, I went in a whole different occupation. I went every month for about 10 days for a year. And you'll probably laugh when I tell you this. And all that time, I got rained on once. I used to go running in Kensington Park. I actually stayed on Baker Street, I believe it is. And oh my gosh, the only thing is I had to get used to drinking warm beer. What's up with that? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Bubba, most people feel the cost if you took whatever you spent last month and you're only going to spend 30% of it at the grocery store, the other 70% pretty much pays for these other foods around the world. So it's very affordable. It's hard to believe it is because you're literally getting nutrient foods from Russia and Mongolia and Tibet and South America and New Zealand, but you're buying directly from the researchers. You're not buying anything from us or from the researchers who created this. So 30% of what you'd spend is at your grocery store, the other 70%. Now again, too, as far as cost goes, how much you want to lose. You listen, we have kids as young as 2 doing this. We have a lady 90 years old. We have people with no thyroids, people with no gallbladders, a man with a heart transplant, people with kidney transplants. We're not treating, curing, diagnosing, or make any medical proclamations whatsoever. That's why I would suggest, Bubba, go to the website, The New Health Conversation, look at the medical proof first. If you like what you see, scroll down, go over this with a coach because they'll go over, I mean, I have no idea how much weight you really want to lose. So obviously that's going to determine, because the key to this, Bubba, is maintenance. And my gosh, maintenance is really, because you're not consuming anywhere near as much. Maintenance is probably, $5 a day, maybe. And what's maintenance? Your breakfast every morning of these exotic foods from around the world that represent these huge amounts of nutrition. Now, unless you're on a prescription for supplements, you won't need any supplements at all based on this. I invite you, go, but look at Bubba, look at him. 70 pounds and 54 inches in 30 days? Is that crazy, Bubba? Is that just crazy? No, I want your comment. Tell me, what do you think about that? Now, Bubba, to be fair, it's the most I've ever seen. The most ever was him. We almost thought, oh my gosh. Oh, good, I'm in there now. Wonderful. So look at everything that's there, English, and then you have to scroll down. It says sign up for a free coach. Got it? And now listen, English. The other thing I will tell you, if you're going to fill out things, so the coaches, the most effective way for us is if you're on WhatsApp. It's free to be on there. If you're going to put your phone number in, because we've had a heck of a time reaching people until we figured this out in the EU, whether it was Germany or Paris or in England or wherever it might be. So please, when you fill out the information, if you can, join WhatsApp. It's totally free. Okay, that's a tip. I'm just trying to save you aggravation, because I have a poor lady now. She's been trying for more than 2 weeks to get someone. We've called her back. The emails keep bouncing back, etc. And her phone number doesn't work because we need it to go through WhatsApp, because it's free for you and for the coach. Okay, got it? So who else would like to ask me a question? Well, we got 2,200 likes. Come on, let's get some more taps on there. I know you can do it. I know your fingers aren't worn out. Let's get some more taps. Wow. Wow. Wegovy. God, Bubba, nowhere near. I'd say maybe everything, including all the food, maybe $500 a month. But you have to, but you see the problem with Wegovy, you understand, Bubba. You still have to buy food on top of that. Did you ever take that into account? It's not the 1,500. They're not exotic fruits. You misinterpreted what I said. The fruits are things, because that's from your grocery list. So strawberries, blueberries, there's a list of them. So it's not exotic fruits. These are exotic foods with nutrients either in massive quantity or nutrients that don't even exist in North America. I'll give you an example. Some of the ingredients come from Mongolia, and they massively lower stress in the body, proven in the medical trials, and some of it comes from Himalayas, and it massively lowers inflammation. Those ingredients aren't available in Kansas, Nebraska, Illinois, etc. So no, it's not exotic fruits. I apologize if I misspoke. So it's these foods. Well, I'll give you an example. One of the things we need, obviously, are vitamins. But the problem with vitamins, they're in a capsule form. They're almost always made in a laboratory. These researchers found foods with 21 naturally occurring vitamins in the foods that they selected from these faraway places. You're going to take nutrients with people that are ingesting. They'll live to be 100 years old, and they don't get sick. You've read about that. These areas where people live in a long time. Well, these researchers physically went to Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, to Himalayas, the side of the Himalayas, to bring some of this stuff back. Not me. I had nothing to do with that, of course. Although I'd love to go to the Himalayas. I think it just, for some reason, I live in Colorado. We got pretty big mountains here, like 14,000 feet, but not 28,000 feet like Everest. So anyway, I hope that answered your question. What are the exotic fruits? So Marianne I hope I answered that. Thank you for the clarification. Of course, Marianne. And listen, Marianne, please, all of you understand. I have 2 sons. I have 4 grandkids. On their lives, if you go to the New Health Conversation, we will not contact you. The only way we'll contact you is if you scroll down and get a coach. The coaching is 100% free the whole time, including through maintenance. And let me repeat again. We have kids as young, well, actually, my grandson, who lives in Costa Rica, he put his son on part of this when as soon as his mom stopped breastfeeding at about 14 months, they put him on part of this. So actually, we have people as young as 14 months. Oh, he's not 14 anymore. He's 5 years old now. But that's what he thrived on, right? But it's just so different. That's all I can tell you. It's just so different because you've never experienced nutrition at these levels. no matter how much you ate. I'll give you another example of something like Marianne that's short of our food. So I filled in where it said get in touch. Great, great. And you put your, and do you have, but English, do you have WhatsApp? That's very important. Make sure the number you put in there was a WhatsApp phone number so that they can call you, okay? But back to you, Marianne, for just a moment. So another thing that we're grossly short of in this country in terms of quantity are what are called trace ionic minerals, okay? Now, maybe you know what they are, maybe you don't. But anyway, what they are, it's not like iron, calcium, magnesium. It's these tiny little elements, things like gold and silver and zinc and beryllium and boron and selenium and molybdenum. In the best organic you can find in this country, you get 20 out of 70. So again, it wouldn't matter how much you eat, you're only getting 20 out of 70. The same 20. The researchers found and used a food source that has all 70 trace ionic minerals. You know what the researchers actually said? That these exotic foods, they make up the world's most, first time ever, the world's most perfect meals from a nutritional standpoint. That's really what they did. I mean, that's really what they did. And then, but you have to understand, they could have never done this with regular food. There wouldn't have been enough to, in other words, the problem was the amounts they were giving people using food from North America that is a minimum almost nutritionally bankrupt, it would have put you in starvation mode, especially on intermittent nutritional fasting days where you were eating tiny amounts of food and getting huge amounts of nutrition. Does that make sense? English, they'll get back, 2 days max, because again, I know already it's like 10 o'clock at night your time, right? Is it 10:54 there in England? I think you're 8 hours ahead of Denver. Maybe it's 7. It's either 9:54 or 10:50. No, I know for sure because again, and I don't know how busy our coaches are, but maximum, I would say they'd get in touch with you no later than tomorrow. It's even possible they may reach out to you yet your night. Oh, so I was right. You're 7 hours ahead. Okay, not you're still up late, but I mean whatever, right? Plus, aren't I right? I remember when I used to be in England that this time of year isn't it light out until, how late is it light out? I'm trying to remember because I'd be there in the summertime. It's like, it's not dark yet. What's going on, right? So I'm just curious, just my memory doesn't serve me anymore, English. It really, that's what I thought. Of course, you don't take this wrong, but your idea of going out to dinner, if you go out to dinner before like 10 o'clock at night, it's like there's nobody in the restaurants. I had to adjust to that. Oh, I loved England. It was so great. I just remember running in like Kensington Park going, is this real? Your country is so green, it's almost like it's fake. It's like it's a movie set. And I did get over the warm beer, so don't hold that against me for too long. Oh my gosh, I'm laughing because it's just so much fun. So, Mary Ann, does that all make sense, what I just shared with you? Isn't it wonderful, Mary Ann? Here we are, conversing with someone in England. But this is going all over the world. I mean, I got people in the far reaches of the world. As a matter of fact, in another about hour and a half, my friends in New Zealand and Australia, they'll be coming. Well, I'll be off this one. I'm going to probably do one more live today. It's about 5 o'clock Eastern time. I know it's 10 o'clock and it's 9:54 in England. So I'll probably do another one maybe in an hour. So that would be 4 would be 6 o'clock Eastern time, maybe sooner. It's just that I need to rest my voice. But this has been wonderful. You've been an incredibly wonderful audience. And again, you can see it there. Just go to the website. That's the website. And yes, that's real. Jeff really lost 70 pounds and 54 inches in 30 days. So, English, it's been wonderful conversing with you. Yeah, you were looking forward to see what they say. In English, you didn't answer me. Do you have WhatsApp? Tell me. Because I don't want you to think we didn't follow up with you because we couldn't get through. Like I said, I have this other lady, and I'm pretty sure she's in the UK, and we just haven't been able to get a hold of her. Not because we didn't try, but whatever number she put in, it didn't work. And we know WhatsApp is foolproof. We use it all over the world, and it's free. It doesn't cost anything, and it's a free call for our coaches and to you. Because remember, your coaches are going to be in contact with you really as much as you want or as little as you want. And that's all free. The coaching's 100% free. There's no gimmicks. There's no extra, oh, well, that's $100 to have a coach. No, it doesn't work like that. Got it? I'm in Denver, Colorado. Nikki, where are you? It's 2:57 here. It's almost 3 o'clock in Denver. I'm just curious. So, Nikki, where are you? And did you get it? Oh, wonderful. What part of Canada? Because Canada, it's totally accessible in Canada, all over the place. I'm just wondering. I grew up, I went to high school in Detroit, Michigan, and skied. I was a ski racer. That's why I ended up in Colorado. But I used to ski, if you're anywhere, I don't know, maybe if you're near Toronto, I used to ski up at Georgian Bay at Collingwood and Georgian Peaks. So I spent a lot of time in Canada, especially Saturday night hockey night in Canada. I grew to love hockey, even though I was an American. It was wonderful. We had a great time. Oh, then you must know Georgian Bay, right? Nikki, am I correct? Okay, good night, English. Okay, Nikki, it's not a diet. Okay, so let's get that established right now. It's not my thing. Okay, so Nikki, now I'm gonna. But Nikki, you just tell me, you do know where Georgian Bay is, I'm assuming, correct? Because that's where I skied all through my high school. We used to drive up every single weekend, and yeah, I had a lot of Canadian friends and had a wonderful time. And it's a beautiful country. Anyway, yes, I do. Okay, great. So, Nikki, now let me explain to you exactly what they did, how they did it, etc. So, first of all, Nikki, what do you think about that? 21 pounds, 38 inches in just 30 days, no exercise. Let's just start with that. You can put the comments in as I'm going. The people who invented this, by the way, Nikki, there are no products. It's not a diet. It has nothing to do with counting calories. It has nothing to do with anything you've ever done before. It was invented by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world, who for 40 years had done 100 studies, thousands of people on every diet out there, and came to one conclusion. No diet ever worked in the long run, and 2/3 of people who went on any of these diets ended up weighing more than they did moving forward. So it would be helpful if, yeah, amazing, I know. Sorry, I just joined the live. Great. So what the researchers did, they figured out the main flaw of any diet, and I'm not putting you on the spot, Nikki, but I've had 4 people in a year give me the definition of a calorie, which you're all counting. You can't go on a diet that's not calorie counting until now, because this isn't a diet. So what the researchers, this is human physiology, by the way. We don't run on calories. Our body has no idea what a calorie is. It doesn't count calories. It doesn't care about calories. Only thing it cares about is a minimum amount, not of calories, Nikki, nutrition. When you go on a diet, what are you really doing? You're reducing the amount of food you're consuming. Hopefully you agree with that. But what they never tell you is when you did that, you also lowered the amount of nutrition. What happens when you do that, the brain realizes there's not enough fuel to run your brain, your heart, well, your organs. Your organs run not on calories, they run on nutrition. So what does it do? The brain freaks out, goes in starvation mode, and stops accessing the fuel stored inside your fat cell and turns to your muscles for fuel. Nikki, do you know that on every diet they've ever measured, that of the weight, let's say someone loses 20 pounds, 25 to 40% of that is lean muscle mass. Every time, every diet, there's no distinction, okay? But not only does that then force the brain, because there's not enough fuel, it slows down your metabolism. It's not up for debate. That's exactly what happens. Well, the other thing that happens, it also slows down your immune system. So by you going on a diet, Nikki, counting calories, losing lean muscle, you're making yourself unhealthy. Sorry to tell you that. Those are the medical facts. Now let's keep going. So the researchers said, based on that, we need to do something different, obviously. Can we go and find foods? Now remember, they're the top nutrition weight loss physiologists in the world, so they knew what they were doing. So they selected foods, only 30% of what you would consume. You'd actually get a grocery list of proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. You don't buy anything from the research. They don't have a store. You're going to your grocery store to get those. But what they also did for her and for you, they give you not calorie counts, serving sizes. Does that make sense, Nikki? So the serving size was very important. So 30% of what you'd consume, you buy at your grocery store. So here's another way to think about it. Last month, whatever you spent on your total grocery bill, this month you're only going to spend 30% of what you spent last month, because that's all the food you're buying from the grocery store. The other 70% came from these exotic foods from around the world, where those researchers for more than 20 years had searched the world for foods with huge amounts of nutrition and small quantities of food. And you can't buy it at your grocery store. They'd gone to Russia, to Mongolia, to Tibet, Nepal and the Himalayas, South America, New Zealand, and they found foods with huge amounts of nutrition and nutrients, for example, which is why you eat food, is for the nutrition that's inside of it. But some of those nutrients were in areas of the world they went to where people were living to be 100 years old and they didn't get sick. Those nutrients aren't even available in North America. Nothing against North America, they just don't exist in the soil. So now they had the ingredients, right? They had 30% from the grocery store, 70% from these exotic foods, and then they invented 2 new ways of consuming the food. Let's call them a recipe, for lack of a better term. 5 days a week, you, her, whatever, me, you'd have 4 meals a day. You heard me, you didn't hear me right. Yeah, 4 meals a day. Starting with these exotic foods around the world, that's your breakfast, meal number 1. Meal number 2 from the grocery store list. Meal number 3 from the grocery store. And meal number 4, the world's most perfect meal. There's no skipping meals on this. This is called protein pacing. So just think about running and pacing yourself. Same kind of thing. The research has figured out that the timing of when you gave your body nutrition was the answer. It wasn't like you had one, a lot of people that have one really big meal like at night. Oh my God, it's the worst thing you could ever do. Because the rest of the day you were nutritionally short, your body was using your muscles for fuel. Sorry, that's how it worked. So 5 days a week, you're going to have 4 meals a day. 2 days a week, you do something, listen to me, intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not water fasting, not time-restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these nutrients from around the world. And this time, you and her would have 8 meals a day. Yep. Again, timing was critical. So she was having these nutrients about every hour and a half over the course of 12 or 14 hours over the course of a day. Nobody was hungry. Nobody was hungry. And look at the results. Now, interestingly enough, Nikki, one of the main reasons to do this is not to lose weight, because that's a given for us. It's to teach you how to maintain it. That's why it's called R2M, race to maintenance. I lost 40 pounds, Nikki, in 7 weeks 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. And if you look at, this was on the, and I don't know if you were on when I was talking about this. This is the June 9th issue. I'm pretty sure you get Women's World in Canada. It's the #1 women's magazine in the world. In June 9th, this is a news story. You can read it there. Over 50 protein miracle. That's the magazine calling this, all right? And then if I do it a little bit closer, powerful new eating pattern can take off weight faster than anything else you've tried. They're endorsing this. Now, they don't sell it. There's no profit motive incentive for them. There's no products that they're involved with. Why did they do it? Because they have, first time ever, 10 peer-reviewed human trial medical studies. And those studies proved everything. As a matter of fact, let me tell you, those 2 women, I coached them. So the daughter in the blue, she's 57 years old, lost 50 pounds in 3 months, Nikki. The mom, she's 80 years old. She lost 90 pounds in 9 months. They both have kept it off now for 2 years and counting. They're not gaining any weight back. It's been 2 years. Nikki, that's the main reason to do this. It's not a question, can we get the weight off you? It's just teaching you how to be able to maintain it. And the coaching's free, Nikki. It's not a gimmick. The coaching is 100% free, and you can go and see the medical proof, Nikki, right above his head there, the new health conversation. Do you see that, Nikki, in blue? Give me a yes, because some people have said they had, for whatever reason, on their computer or phone, they had a hard time reading the website. No spaces, the new health conversation, which is the movement I started. We think we need the new health conversation. I mean, the old one isn't working. Not with in the United States anyway, they're estimating in 4.5 years, that 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese. And I don't think Canada's too far behind us, right? Yes, so you saw that. So, Nikki, do you understand now why this is not a diet? Do you understand now how unique and different this is, right? And again, that new health, when you go there, Nikki, we will not contact you. Be clear. We don't contact people when they go there. Why should we need to? If that medical proof is as strong as what I'm saying it is, you'll convince yourself, and then you'll want to do, and the coaching is free, not just the consultation, but all the way through, including maintenance. You'll be friends with your coach. Oh, I didn't tell you the best part, Nikki, okay? So, the 70% of what you're going to spend in a month, those suppliers, they'll give you 100% money back guarantee. They'll give you all your money back if for whatever reason, you don't have to have a reason. It says right on the website, 100% money back guarantee. Now, the 30% of the food you're buying from the grocery store, I don't think they're going to give you a refund. See, that's what's crazy about this, Nikki. You're buying a month's worth of food. That's what you're doing. But they figured out the foods for you to eat, when to eat it, how much, what the pacing was. And you actually get, Nikki, if you do it, this is what they gave the patients in these medical studies, the patients that went through this, they gave them this. It's called the blueprint for success. And these yellows here are daily videos from the researchers explaining why it's working, why you're doing it, why is it safe. Okay, they even broke it down more, and hopefully you can read that. Recommended food list and then recommended schedules. And those little boxes you see there, those are daily videos from the researchers explaining to you, this is what you're doing on day one, this is why you're doing it, this is why it's safe. That's all free. All this coaching is free. I know it sounds too good to be true. People tell me that all the time. But does it make sense now, Nikki? And do you understand it's not a diet? Do you see how different and unique this is? Yes? Cool. So would anybody else like to ask me a question? I know I said I was going to quit about 10 minutes ago. I've been on for almost 2 hours. That's okay. Good, Nikki. Wonderful. So would anybody like to ask me a question before I stop this one? And now, because I've gone over, I'll definitely do one no later than, say, 6 o'clock Eastern time. Maybe that would only do for a half hour because I only have so much voice left. I think this is my third one of the day, actually, to be quite honest with you. So would anybody else like to ask me a question? We're at 2,800 likes. Can we get just a few more taps on the screen? Any of you? Just get me to see if we can get to 3,000 before we shut this off. Nikki B, example of what to eat. I thought I went over that with you. That's what they give you in the schedule. You're going to be having, well, from the grocery store, you're going to have combinations of proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. And the others, these nutrients or these foods from around the world are not, it's not like kale or spinach. In many cases, you would make it as a tea or you'd make it as a liquid as part of this. So it's a combination of what you would call chewable foods and these nutrients. But that's how the natives or the residents of those parts of the world live and be 100 years old. They eat part regular food, of which we've covered with the proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, and fruits, and the other part with these other foods, which are primarily, I wouldn't say they're all, but a lot of them you're having in a liquid form, if that makes sense. Okay, does that make sense, Nikki? But again, your coach will go over all that with you. That's why I was saying it's just totally different than anything any of us have ever done before. But again, when you look at the results of Kristen or this is my friend's daughter. Nikki, what do you think about that? 60 pounds in 3 months. It's the same woman. Look at her face, look at her arms, look at her stomach area. Is that unbelievable? Just unbelievable? She shrank. And she's kept it off now for 8 years, just to let you know. So obviously, it's completely new way of nourishing our body. That's don't think about eating anymore. Think about nourishing your body, right? That's the best way to explain it. So Nikki, I hope I've incentivized you enough that you want to go to the website and see the medical proof, and then you get to choose. Nikki, for the 20th time, I've told everybody, we won't contact you if you go there. You have the total freedom to go and look at the medical proof. If you like what you see, scroll down and you'll get a coach that'll explain everything, because we don't know anything about you. Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to gain weight? How old are you? Are you on any medications? Like I said before, Nikki, we have kids as young as 2 doing this. We have a lady 91 years old. I just showed you the mom, daughter. The daughter's 57, 50 pounds in 3 months. The mom at 80, 90 pounds in 9 months. We have people with no thyroids. We have a man with a heart transplant. We have people with no gallbladders. We have people with kidney transplants. And we're not treating, diagnosing, or making any medical claims whatsoever. All we're doing is referencing what's in the medical studies, what's in the medical trials, if that makes sense to you. Great. You mean you'll go to the website after work, I'm assuming, because it's only, wow, it's 5:11 in Toronto, right? You're working late tonight, or do you work late? I don't know. I'm not being nosy. I'm just curious, okay? But anyway, I want to you got me to 3,400 likes. Thank you so much, everybody. I love, love, love the support. And like I said, if my voice holds out, then I'll probably come back on around 6 o'clock Eastern time and do at least another short podcast for the rest of today. I want to thank all of you, 1 million, 10 million, 50 million %. Okay? Thanks, everybody. I'm signing off now.